Right, hello and welcome. I'm Dan Thorpe. Today I want to talk about Travis picking. Tommy Emmanuel, Merle Travis, Chet Atkins, what do those players have in common? Well, they have this amazing ability to play Travis picking in the old school, super tight, super groovy, super melodic way. And that's what I'm going to show you right now, okay? So when it comes to Travis picking, there's loads of things we could do, but let's start off simple, okay? We're going to learn this sort of thing today, and I'm going to break it down for you. Start with a C chord. And then we're going to do it into a G7 for an old school sound. And I'm going to show you how you can sort of embellish things as well. That sort of little thing. Okay, so basically, how do you do all that? Where do you begin? Well, you don't begin by trying to do that. If you can already do a bit of basic Travis picking, great. That's a starting point. Okay, so you want to basically get that C chord and you get your thumb plucking the A string and then the D string. And you get that groove going. That's your bass line, your drum beat, and your metronome all in one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you start off with that, okay? Get good at that. Take your time, and then what you want to do is practice doing a little bit of a melodic pluck on the high E on beat 1, okay? But you might be wondering, how do I get that kind of punchy sound? Basically, I've got the side of my hand here touching the bridge where the strings meet the bridge, okay? Just on the bass strings. I've not got it across all 6 strings, just this part of my hand there, okay? And I've played the bass line on the A string and D string on a C chord. It gives me that tight, punchy sound. It's not too tight and it's not dead like that, and it's not too far back where it's a bit kind of wishy-washy. It's right there. You might have to move your hand back and forth, left and right a little bit to get that sweet spot. Okay, so the pattern that we're going to do, the main underlying pattern is this. Okay, doesn't sound like a huge amount on its own, but when you add it with the variations, it's really cool. Okay, so basically what we're doing, we're starting off with a pluck on the A string and the high E string on beat 1. Okay, I'm using my thumb and I'm using my ring finger for that high E string, but you don't have to use your ring finger for that. You can use middle or index if you want, but middle is okay. Ring is ideal, really. Okay, get your fingers set up in the right position. So A and high E string, or string 5 and 1 together. Then we're going to do the D string with the thumb. Okay, for beat 2. So far we got 1, 2. Then on the end of 2, we're going to pluck the high E string on its own. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and then for beat 3, we're going to pluck the A string with the thumb. Okay, so far we got 1, 2, and 3. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then on beat 4, we're just going to pluck that D string with the thumb. So that's the basic pattern. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So to recap, A string and high E string together, D string, high E, A string, D string. So watch this video a few times if you need to. It's going to help, okay? You're going to have to practice this, take your time, because literally all we're doing is 4 bass note plucks with the thumb and 2 treble string plucks with the ring on the high E. But you know, on their own they don't sound like much, but together it's really cool. It's the groove comes from this pluck on the high E. The second time you put the high E, that's where the groove comes from, because that's on the offbeat, on the end of beat 2, and that's syncopation, which is cool. So once you got that good, that's the first bar. Then the second bar is going to be this. The second bar is exactly the same except for beat 1, where we put our pinky finger on fret 3 of the high E string and pull off. So that's tricky technically. That that pinky finger is 3rd fret of the high E, plucking it and pulling off. Plug, pull off. Okay, it's not that hard on its own, but when you incorporate it with a chord, you might struggle to reach and stretch. So you don't have to do that. You know, you can just play bar 1 over and over, or you can just leave the pinky finger on that 3rd fret high E. So that would work great because that's really melodic. But the variation where you're pulling off in bar 2 would be this. The rest of the pattern's exactly the same for bar 2. So it would be that A string and high E string together, but your pinky's on fret 3 of the high E. Then it's that D string, high E string, A string, D string. Or you got the option to do A string and high E string with that, you know, pinky 3rd fret high E, and pull off. Then you just pluck the rest of the pattern as normal. D string, high E, A, D. Okay, then you can just keep going with that, okay? So you can bring back the first bar, the second bar, then back to the first bar, then the third bar. You can simplify the rhythm a little bit and do this. So the optional 4th bar would be where you play the C chord, you add the pinky finger on the 3rd fret high E, and all you do is pluck the A string and high E string together, then the D string, remove the pinky finger from the high E, so you got open high E, and you play the A string and the high E together, and then you play the D string. So the 4th bar would be. Okay, now if all this seems like a lot right now, it probably is, because I'm packing a lot into a short lesson here. I've taught this a lot, you know, in my fingerstyle 101 video course. The video version of that is a bonus where I go through all this in 10 steps, and it's much more sort of linear and focused, but here's just a fun video to just inspire you. And I also have another video on YouTube where I talk about this in a simpler way as well, so be sure to watch that as well. I'll put that in the description so you can see the simpler video just to get you started. So if you're struggling with this, watch that video, get the basics done, then come back and watch this, because this is very much an extension on that. You know, if you're really good at playing, then this video might not be too hard for you, but if you haven't got the fundamentals of Travis picking, watch that video because it's going to really help you. Okay, so basically what we've just done then, let's just play it through. So it's this. Okay, that's basically it. You know, if you want the tab, and then let me know and leave a comment below, and if there's enough comments, then I'll put the tab up for you as well. That's no problem. Just let me know. We need at least 10 comments for me to do the tab, okay? Let's build up, so let's get some traction going a little bit, okay? Right, so then if you want, you could switch it onto a G7th chord where you got index finger 1st fret high E, ring finger 3rd fret of the low E, and you did exactly the same idea. And then you go back to the C to finish with. So the G7th, you know, the only difference is your thumb is plucking a different bass note, switching from the low E to the D. But the treble string plucks are the same. So quickly on the G, what you'd do would be the 3rd fret low E, 1st fret high E, and you pluck the low E and high E together, then the D, then the high E, for the and beat 2, then the low E, and then the D. So it'd be like 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. So low E, high E together, D, high E, low E, D. And if you're struggling, just play the basic pattern that we did at the beginning of the video on the C, and then the same pattern what we just did on the G7. And if you want, you can add in all the fancy stuff. that final variation, what I did, that is all that is a quick hammer on pull off with the pinky and open third fret high E to open high E. And that's incorporated in the pattern, and you're just playing that on beat 1. So you're literally doing 3 notes on beat 1. And then you just play the rest of it as normal. It's that groove, hear the underlying groove, that's absolutely essential throughout this. You know, if you lose that groove, it's like, wow, what's going on? But you get that groove. That's your starting point to do everything else. So you're gonna have to watch this video multiple times if this is new to you, but don't worry. Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, and have lots of fun, because players like Chet Atkins, Merle Travis, Emmanuel, they didn't do all this overnight. It took them a long time to be able to play this style. But when you break it down and you get that solid groove going to begin with, and you build it up one step at a time, it becomes so much easier. And it becomes, you know, a lot of fun. You can just have endless fun with that and keep adding layers. But it takes time. The more methodical you are, the more patient you are, the faster progress does come with this. So don't worry if it doesn't happen right away. Take your time, enjoy the journey, and thanks for watching. Right, you got this, you can do it. Cheers, bye bye.